in all reality, you're killing yourself with a fake rape charge. Can I tell you what? You're gonna have to put in energy to get a fake rape charge across. But if it doesn't go according to plan, it'll bounce back on you, and it'll be obviously they will have medical.
I've done all this. There's evidence. I've given him a clothes. He banged me, babe. Like we had sex, yeah. And he's denying that he was even there.
How can you do that if you got arrested in your house?
No, so one was for.
Yeah, but this is what I thought about. This is what I was filming. I thought about him.
Because I hate him because he's so much like me. And it annoys me.
But Victoria, listen to me carefully, yeah? Your skill is that you can detect a victim you want and rape them. That's what you do. You enjoy doing it. Rape charge doesn't mean you've got a victim involved.
No, it doesn't.
It just means
I've just got one over. That's all.
Yeah, but it means you got desperate that you weren't able to hurt him. You pulled a fake rape. You know what I'm saying? So
that's still gonna hurt him. He hates that. And the thing is, he's gonna go out continuing to fuck up girls' lives. Yeah. With an assault charge and a rape charge, he'll think twice about what he does next time when he meets the next girl.
Yeah, fair enough.
Think
but
twice
it's a fake rape charge. So what do you want from that?
He lies for a living. Let him have a taste of his own medicine. That's all. Let him continue lying for a living. That's what he does. He spins stories and sells dreams for a living. End of. So when a story spun on him, let him swallow that pill.
But I get your angle, but then you can't say you won or you was able to.
It's not a game. I'm done. I've pulled back. I've done what I've done. I've played my move. I've moved on.
But you weren't able to hurt. The way you usually like to hurt men, you weren't able to hurt him.
Well, I did, because in the relationship, I continued to cheat on him.
The video you guys just saw there is an influencer by the name of Victoria Everest. As you can see in the video, she accused a man of rape, and they were false allegations just to get him arrested. This is her profile. Let me go ahead and show you guys. All right, this is her Instagram, Victoria Everest. 748,000 followers. I don't know if that's how much she had before or if she has less. I don't know. But basically, she's an influencer. She sells detox stuff and whatnot. And okay, see, she lost weight. Now she's selling detox stuff. This, and that. Okay, all right. Body looks on point. All right, cool. Oh, okay. Nice. All right, moving on. Throughout the course of this video, I want you to decide if Victoria Everest is just trying to do damage control and if she really feels bad for what she did, or she's just trying to, save face. And also, by the end of this video, I want you to decide if a woman or man does fake rape allegations, should they get time also if they find out that the allegations are false. All right, guys. So that video that you guys saw of her talking about pressing false rape allegations on this guy to get him arrested, she actually had a response to it, and they sat down and interviewed her in an interview called "I Need to Clear My Name." How you clear your name from something like this, I don't know, but here's the video.
Jason paid Gucci to release the video.
So let's talk about the video.
As a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation, so I have a criminal record. And
are you saying that you wanted to get him back because of the abuse?
I called the police 19 times because I was at fear of my life.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men.
Do you think that your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue.
You said that this video was made nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, I can't even believe somebody could hold on to a video that long.
Why is it being released now?
I don't know. I think you need to ask him that question.
With something like this, it doesn't matter how long it took them to release the video. It really doesn't matter. And I see she's trying to give a backstory right now as to why she would do false rape allegations. There's really no excuse, but let's hear it.
You decide that in order for me to get him back, because that's what you mentioned in the video, that you were going to make this false allegation? Like, when did that thought process land?
Like, I felt that at that point that the only person that could stop this man was me.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I mean, this has been a very intense couple of days for you, I'm sure. How have you been feeling? How are you managing?
Actually, I've managed to stay quite grounded. I've got an excellent support network and community around me, which I'm just incredibly grateful for. I'm in the middle of a 21-day juice fast, which has really just allowed me to just not react to things that are being saying online, but really just respond with truth and clarity. So I'm super, super grateful for this opportunity to set the record straight.
Let's get to the point. Let's get to the point.
Well, thank you for joining us to set the record straight. I'm looking forward to this conversation. So before we get started, tell us a bit about yourself. You've got an amazing platform in terms of wellness and fitness and caring for the body. So for those people that don't know you prior to this scandal, tell us a bit more about what you do and who you are.
So I run one of the fastest growing detox and wellness academies in the world. And we teach people essentially how they can reclaim their health, giving them tools and techniques, predominantly based around fasting, but also other other health healing modalities. So movement's a really big part of that. I also support, I guess through my time of growing my community, I support a huge community of people online with just daily inspiration, providing them guidance around juicing, working out, health, wellness. That's essentially what I do in a nutshell.
Obviously, you're not in the studio with me. So where exactly are you?
So I'm currently in Jamaica. We are in the middle of running our Reset Wellness Retreat where people across the world fly in for a week.
Is this a promotion video or is this a video about the false rape allegations? I'm not getting it. Maybe she's just doing a bit of both. Let's get to the point.
To come and detox and reset their body in paradise. It's been an incredible experience. And yes, we're right in the middle of the retreat, but it was really important for me to be able to take the time out and respond to this video and really just shed some light around it as well.
Okay, that's good to hear. Obviously, from your brand being very wellness, fitness, dietary, just looking after your body, it's very contradictory to what has come out recently about you. So let's talk about it. Um, Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding you and this leaked video online. Let's kind of start by, I think what we need to kind of clarify is your relationship with men, first and foremost, because certain things that you were saying in the video kind of showed that you don't like men. So kind of talk me through that. Like, what's your relationship or your view towards men holistically?
So just to give you a bit of context, my mum's Turkish, my father's Nigerian. I was born and raised in London. Both my parents came to the UK as immigrants back in the 80s. My mum actually couldn't speak any English. Turkish was our main spoken language at home, and I actually ended up learning English at school. My relationship with my father was a very interesting one. He was a well-renowned journalist, had a publication called Business in Africa magazine, and I was his princess. I had a very, very close relationship with him growing up until the age of 12, when he then moved to South Africa to pursue his business and his career. And at that point, things really changed for me, going into my teenage years, not having my father present. I would see him once or twice a year, but he didn't play an active role in my life at all, kind of going into early teenagehood, adolescence, and at the age of 19, at 47 years young, his life was tragically taken. He was assassinated by a family member. And that was, for me, one of the probably one of the most traumatic experiences I had to go through, you know, as a young adult, you know, in my early teens, losing for you know, I would say losing my best friend. I looked up to my dad so much, you know.
Rest in peace to her father, but what does this have to do with the false rape allegations?
We spent so much time together, even though he wasn't there physically, you know, he still was my idol, you know, and to have his life, you know, to lose him so tragically at such a young age, I think definitely played a burden on me for sure.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry to hear that. Do you think that your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
Not having my dad around growing up didn't influence my view on men. I think what it did do is it created a space for where I didn't have the right guidance, nurturing, or support structure as a young person. It created the space for me to just essentially encounter challenges, you know, going through, you know, my teenage life from the age of from the ages of 12 to 16. So from year 7, you know, to year 11, I went to 6 different secondary schools. I was expelled 3 times. I'd got myself involved with, you know, a gang of criminals, you know, to say it quite frankly. And I almost got myself murdered at the age of 15. I was on the front page of Hackney Gazette because I had been kidnapped, taken, you know, by the kidnappers to a river, had all of my hair cut off. I had a bag put over my head and thrown into the river. I was in a hospital for 2 weeks in concussion. And as a result of that, there was multiple attacks at that time. But as a result of that first attack, I was put into witness protection, which I later came out of because I decided not to pursue the charges. But at that point, I also was in social services by the age of 15. I was in a foster home. My dad wasn't around, like I said. And both my parents really tried their best with me. I am an only child. And I think by the point where they realized that my life was in serious danger growing up, at the time I was in Hackney. So when they realized that my life was in serious danger, my dad decided to step in and remove me from the UK. And I ended up finishing my studies in Germany. I went to the Berlin British School and I ended up finishing year 11.
Okay, wow, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, that is a lot to take in. That was a lot said, but what does this have to do with the false rape allegations? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard, but what does this have to do with the false rape allegations? Is it just me? Or because he's trying to paint a picture, but none of that leads to, you heard in the first video that she likes to put fake rape allegations on men. It wasn't the first time, apparently. This is what she does. What does this have to do with that?
So much to unpack in what you've just said. But what I want to touch on is you mentioned you talk about your dad, but where was your mum when all of this was happening?
I also lost my mum in 2021 to COVID. She was 56 years young. So that's, you know, talking about my mum, always get a little bit emotional. But up until the age of 12, my mum played a really active role in my life. You know, she was the mum that would take me to every single after school club, swimming, horse riding. You know, she is an incredibly, incredibly strong and inspiring woman that poured nothing but love and nurturance into me growing up. But when I hit the age of 12, she met somebody, and the person that she had met was living in Tottenham at the time. We were living in South London in West Norwood. And within a few months of meeting this individual, he was a Turkish man, she fell pregnant. They decided they were going to get married and have a child. So essentially, at the age of 12, my mum had decided to start a new family. And I think that's really when my struggles with men really began. And throughout those years, throughout those teenage years, throughout the adolescent years, from the time that my mum was with this man, his name was Sayed, I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue in front of me, had her hair dragged, had her teeth kicked in while she was...
Okay, I see she's about to cry. I know this probably does affect her. But once again, what does this have to do with the false rape allegations? I get this is bad, right? That sucks, right? Childhood wasn't the best, this and that. But is she trying to convince people that since this had happened to her, this is her reason for trying to get multiple men arrested with false rape allegations? It's not really adding up, but let's continue listening.
Pregnant to my younger brother. My stepdad kicked her in the stomach. And, it was just one of those things growing up. I ended up really resenting, because I had no control. As a teenager, I had no control. I had no way of protecting my mum. And I thought, definitely at the time, maybe I can seek safety and comfort on the streets. And that's what I did. I got taken in by the streets. And I remember, 14, 15, that was another thing as well. Whilst I was still at home, I also had challenges because my mum, being Turkish, is white. My stepdad was white. My little brother was also white. So I also felt like I didn't fit in. My dad wasn't around. So the closest space, or I guess the closest I could feel home was really the safety on the streets. And I remember going through my teenage years thinking one day I'm gonna kill this man for what he's put my mum through. And that's essentially, I think, was the beginning of, the relationship, the beginning, I guess the beginning of it all was witnessing domestic violence, the severity of what my mum went through growing up. And I know a lot of people can relate in Turkish cultures, especially Turkish, Arabic, any kind of ethnic culture.
Okay, that part I can kind of understand, but I've already seen a later video that you guys are going to see. She has a lot of issues with violence. She dates a lot of men who lay hands. Let's say that. You'll see. You'll see. Let's continue here. It'll make sense later when we see the other video.
Your husband is normalized. It's one of those things that it's like women just have to endure it. We have to accept it. And, that my mum, because of the sake of my younger brother, she stayed in that relationship.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
It almost normalized it, so it was no coincidence when I hit 26, 27 that I found I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men. That played a really big part in terms of my psychology. And, not realizing, I think it was more of a subconscious decision that, I was making, that I would end up in a relationship with men who at some point would end up abusing me. If it wasn't physically, it was emotionally or mentally. And it was a pattern that was continuing throughout, kind of my adult life.
So let's talk about the video, the recent viral video. So when the video first dropped, you mentioned that it was fake and it was AI. Can we talk a bit about that? Like, what did you mean?
So given the size and scale of my account, I'm not the person that always is behind running my account. So the video was sent to me, and my first response to the video was that this has been edited, this is fake. And that's what I said to my team. So they then took that.
All right, this is how I know she's a liar. This is where she messes up right here. In one of the interviews, she says that the guy told her to pay him $10K or else he would release the video. So she said she told him, go ahead, release it. I'm not sending you $10K. So she knew it was going to be released. So it wouldn't be a surprise to her where she'd be like, oh, it's AI, that's not real. The guy told her it was going to be released if she didn't send him 10K. You got to be able to keep up with your lies or not lie at all. You'll see in the later video or in the rest of the interview.
What was he asking for? Was
said,
there a particular
he said
amount?
to me, the messages said I needed to send him 10K now, and if I didn't send him 10K, he would release the video. So I said, release the video. I said, release the video. Like I said, I'm really grateful for the support.
But she was shocked by seeing the video and said it was AI? Interesting.
And said it was AI. When I realized that they'd put out it was AI, I deleted the story immediately and, then went forward with saying it's a very, very real video. It's just been, it's a 7-minute video that has been edited specifically to show me in a particular light, So I think there was a misunderstanding there for sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that we need to unpack about that video, but you mentioned that, you hate men in that video. And obviously you describing everything that you've gone through psychologically, one could argue that, it's understandable why you would kind of have that viewpoint. But you've mentioned that your dad didn't contribute to it. It was your stepdad. And then you also entered into abusive relationships. What did those abusive relationships look like? What did you experience?
In relation to the video, the person that I was in a relationship with, it was over a period of 18 months. When I first entered a relationship with this guy, generally I would, be naive enough, because I'm someone who wears their heart on their sleeve naturally in every scenario, every situation. And, one of the things that led me to even entering this relationship was just being vulnerable enough to take people for face value. The manipulation that went into pursuing the relationship from him, early on in the relationship, really was, when I look back and reflect, I think, okay, I definitely was in a really broken state. When I look back at that video, because, I've watched it a couple times, and just to set the record straight, that video was filmed almost 10 years ago. The person who I was speaking about in that video wasn't arrested and wasn't prosecuted. Whilst I said some extremely, extremely, vile things in that video, a lot of people have really focused on the hate and the anger. And
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to cut you because you said the person in the video that you were
in a later video, you'll also see that the guy who recorded her and released the video, he says it was maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago that this happened. She's saying it's 10. But after seeing her lie so many times, I don't know what to believe. So you guys decide what you guys want to believe. So I don't know.
Referring to was not prosecuted, was not arrested, was not charged.
Absolutely not. He wasn't, he wasn't charged. He didn't go to jail. And actually the video was provided to the police, and because the video was provided.
She also said that the guy didn't go to jail. The guy who recorded her secretly and released it said the guy was locked up until, I might be wrong on this, but I believe he was locked up and then released, or he was about to be locked up.
To the police, he managed to get away with those charges. And as a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal.
As she should be. She should have got way worse than that, to be honest. I believe, in my personal opinion, I believe when women put out fake rape allegations, that they should get at least half the time that the man would have got if he would have actually been found guilty. That would stop all these fake allegations of going out. And also, it would deter women from doing it, because they're like, wait, if I do this, I could go to prison instead. But also, what this really messes up with women like her is the women who have actually been raped for real. it makes it way harder for them. That's why I have no respect for women like this. Right now, she's trying to explain why and this and in my childhood. There's no excuse. Let it have been a law that if you get caught lying, that you get half the time that the guy would have got. This would have never happened. They use it like it's a game to them.
Record, and that was a decision made by the police at the time. So I really had to pay the price.
Okay, so we're moving along a bit quickly here. So the video, the man that released the video, Gucci Walker, I believe, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. He released a statement saying that his friend, the reason why he made the video was because his friend was charged with a false rape case. Yeah. And at the hands of you planned it. You had the man in your house where you both had intercourse, and then the police caught him there. So he was going to jail. He couldn't bust case on this particular matter because he was found in your house. But you're saying that that didn't happen.
No, so he did get arrested, and because the video, was provided to the police as evidence, he was released. He never got.
She said he wasn't arrested, but now he was arrested and got released. You see what I'm saying? Your words aren't consistent. I don't know.
Charged, and he, I never saw Denzel again. That was, over 8 years ago. We've never spoken, we've never seen. He went on with his life. I went, we made a lot of mistakes during that relationship. That was probably one of the most traumatic. I've been through 2 very, very traumatic relationships in my life. One of those, when I say traumatic, violent and abusive. One of those was with Denzel, the person that was in question in the video. And his ex-partner warned me. She was a teacher. She had a non-molestation order against him. And she said, look, this guy, she told me exactly what was going to happen in the relationship. And I didn't believe her. Denzel, convinced me also not to believe her. And, I really paid the price of that. One of the biggest things, that came out of the relationship is during the time that we were together, I fell pregnant. I ended up contracting an STI. He gave me gonorrhea at the time. At the time I was working at Microsoft, I had a very successful career with a 6-figure salary. And he told me that he was an ex-football player, semi-pro football player, only to later discover that actually he worked on the railways. He was living at his mum's house on the couch. And the car that he'd met me in, which was a brand new Range Rover, belonged to the girl that he was dating at Brown Eagle. It was someone else's vehicle. So that was only, months into the relationship, I was discovering these things. I found a secret phone in his car. There was a whole array of women that he was meeting up with, and sleeping with at the same time while he was living in my house. And any single time that I confronted him, the backlash was, a verbal, physical abuse. And during the time that we was in the relationship, I called the police 19 times because I was at fear of my life. My son was living with me at the time. I'm a single mom, and my son was around 7 at the time. And that was one of the worst things, that I've ever experienced, was to see my son, witness me getting beaten up by this man. And he wasn't just a man, he was a street thug. He was a guy off the street, from the ends.
There you go. So she likes thugs. I don't know what to say. I mean, it makes sense now that all her relationships were somehow abusive, whether physically, mentally, whatever it was. That's what she says it was. She likes thugs. And it seems like whatever he had did to her in the short relationship, because she said it was short. I don't remember exactly how long she said, but it was short. It was less than a year, probably like a half of a year, something like that. He was beating her and all types of, sorry, not beating her, choking her is what she had said. And it makes sense. She likes thugs. She knew he was a thug, and that's her type. So there you go. There you go. I'm not saying any of this is right, what happened, but yeah.
And, And because of the fact that each time I called the police for abuse, whether it was abuse, in front of or, isolated, maybe he wasn't at home, because there was a child at home, social services were involved. And at the last point where he was arrested, my main concern was keeping him safe. That was the ultimate thing for me. Social services were, I was at complete risk of losing him because I was in this relationship with this abusive man.
At what point did you decide everything that you're going through in this relationship, the abuse that you were enduring, when did you decide that in order for me to get him back, because that's what you mentioned in the video, that you were going to make this false allegation? Like, when did that thought?
So I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to save you the rest of the interview. Basically, she was saying what that Denzel guy did to her in the relationship. He would choke her and whatnot. He was a liar. Apparently, he lived home with his parents, something like that, right? And she felt like the only way she could really get this guy back and not ever let him manipulate any other women ever again was to do this false rape allegation to get him locked up. Because her calling the cops wasn't working, all this stuff wasn't working. So she's like, this is the only way I could get him locked up, was doing this false rape allegation. Mind you, in the original video, the first video, she says she just does it to men because she hates men. If this was the first time, I'd be like, all right, fine. And mind you, she loves thugs, so I don't know what else she expected. She had found out that he was a liar, that he dealt with other women. He gave her a STI. What more do you need? I don't know. But mind you, do not forget that the main point of this whole thing is supposed to be, why did you falsely accuse this man of rape? And she's doing all this and painting this picture and da-da-da-da-da. Let's get to the point. So I'm going to skip the rest of it. That's basically what she says. There is a second part to this where it shows her getting beat or whatever's happening in the video by her other ex. I believe his name is Jason. He's another one that she got arrested. I don't believe it was off of false allegations this time. I believe a neighbor had called and got him locked up. But anyway, I'm going to play part 2 and you'll see.
So you sent in 2 videos of your abuse from Jason. So we're just going to play it now and then just talk through it. If you can kind of explain to me the background, what's going on. I'm going to play that second one now.
Bring your things. Bring it. You bring my phone as well while you're at it. Bring my phone as well while you're at it. Since you want to get rid of, clear everything. Bring my phone as well. Bring everything right now. No going back right now. Bring it now. Bad girl. You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm gonna fucking come and get you. Watch.
Can you talk to me about what was going on?
The relationship with Jason, when it first started was...
Yeah, this is Jason now. It's another guy. It's not the first guy, Denzel. This is now Jason she's talking about.
Was really beautiful. He, I guess there was a trauma bond for sure. He just lost his mum. I'd lost my mum, a year ago, and there was a moment there where I was kind of supporting him and holding his hand through that grieving process. And really early on, within the first couple of weeks of entering into the relationship, he had decided that he was going to help me financially. I'd fallen into I'd fallen into mortgage arrears actually with my mortgage company. I had a change in job, and he was like, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna support you financially to settle some of your bills. It wasn't a huge amount of money. I think it was like £5,000 at the time, and in exchange for giving me, loaning me, it wasn't even giving, loaning me this money to cover my arrears, he wanted me to sign a document. And this document, at the time, I didn't know what it was, but it was a power of attorney. And because I decided that I wasn't, when I found out what a power of attorney document was and what it meant, and I decided that I wasn't going to sign this document, that's when he became very violent towards me. As you can hear from my video, I was in deep distress. I was, in fear for my life, despite the fact that he had been arrested and, he'd already been cautioned, he'd been given bail conditions. He was constantly turning up to my house, making threats, pressuring me to sign these documents. And it was only later that I discovered that he's a man that's in his mid-40s, and he'd gone through his entire life conning and manipulating women out of property. And having owned several properties in London, I was essentially his next victim. And when I decided that I'm not going to play ball, that's when the violence began. And that's when I sought on support from the police, because ultimately, one thing as well that
She gets in really shady situations. Like, why not borrow that money from a bank? Why not get a credit card and put that debt on a credit card? Why go to this guy? First of all, nothing's free. She said she borrowed it, but you already know what happened. Come on. Do I have to say it? Man, she puts herself in such bad situations. But anyways, like I said, why did you do the false grape allegations? This is a lot of talking. But I'm gonna let it play through.
that's not painted is I have no mum, I have no dad, I have no older brother, I have no relatives. So the only people that I could rely on when I was at home in the UK was the Metropolitan Police to come in and support me. And this time round, they actually did such an incredible job, in the process. But ultimately, Jason was a very angry man, and, he wanted one thing and one thing only, and it was those signed papers. And when I refused to do that, he held me captive in the house. He refused to let me leave the house. I was forced to take a cold shower. It was almost 3 days that he had me locked up in the house. And that was me trying to escape that second video. And you could see he wasn't going to let me go anywhere at that point. And I had nobody around me at all to step in and support me and, protect me, really. And I think that's what it boiled down to. And I'm just really grateful that, making this mistake the second time round by allowing somebody so dangerous into my home, I was really grateful this time around that my son wasn't there to witness it. And it didn't last 18 months. It was only 3 months.
Yeah, it sounds like a very difficult time, very, very dark time. Do you understand why you are receiving a lot of backlash?
Yeah, I completely, for individuals that have actually gone through, been wrongly accused of rape, of sexual assault, of any type of, criminal activity, and then to have somebody, go online and have a video of somebody saying that, I would wrongly accuse an individual for sexual assault to justify, to protect other women from being assaulted, can definitely trigger, individuals. And like I said, the intention behind that video wasn't to trigger or hurt or cause anyone pain. Really, like I said before, it was an expression of the pain that I was going through as a domestic abuse survivor. Domestic abuse is something that, like I said, I've never shared on my platform because, moving into the work that I do, and that's why my lifestyle is so important to me. That's why I take
Okay, yeah. So once again, it's going to be a lot of talking. If there's anything I need to add, I'll make a second part and just put it into this. It's just a lot of talking. Also, you'll notice too, doesn't seem to be an apology. If there is, I'll add it in later and I'll tell you guys there was an apology. It just seems like she's trying to get some type of get people to feel some type of way about her story. So they'll, let's say, more so let her off the hook about this. Because I still don't understand what this has to do with the false grape allegations. I understand she wanted to hurt the guy, but also she has to realize that your type of guys, the type of guys you like, comes with these type of things. Not saying it's correct what they did, absolutely not. But there has to be some type of responsibility taken for this stuff, man. Like, you choose better. Also, there's no reason for false grape allegations. Stop bringing these guys into your house. That's crazy. That's crazy, love. All right, I'm done with this video. All right, so this next video is an interview with the guy who first recorded her saying these things. She didn't know he was recording. He caught her saying that she did false grape allegations against these men because she hates men. She cheats on men in relationships because she hates men. This, and that, right? This is the guy who recorded it. And I'm going to give you a little background before I start the video. He basically did not know her, met her because she put false grape allegations on his cousin's friend. And he knew she was lying. And he just needed to catch her on video saying it to free him. But anyway, I'm about to play the video. Let's hear what he has to say.
Let's go through it then. Let's talk from the beginning with the lady Victoria.
Yeah.
Let's talk from the beginning because obviously she's done an interview yesterday.
Big, yeah, part one and all them things there.
Part one. I saw that. I didn't realize it was a part one until the end. I saw
40 minutes of it is part one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
platform they gave us big.
Yes. So let's talk now. From your perspective, let's hear so where does this begin for you? As far as you and her interact, where does it begin? What made you engage with her and start this conversation off?
Bro, I heard what she was doing, and being me, I just had to try and help. It was really just that. It was just a successful mission. I've got to thank God it was a successful operation. I don't know her from Adam before that, and I knew her for about, at most, 4 days.
Yeah.
Where did you hear what she'd done from, what she was doing from?
So the guy that she was doing it to, you know, I can say I was never going to say his name because
She's saying his name.
she said his name now, so I can put it. Denzel,
Yeah.
he's actually my cousin's brethren.
Right.
So when I've heard what's going on and where the woman is, I knew, okay, we can make it work.
Yeah.
If I can try a thing. It's only a try. And I'll say by the grace of God, it worked. You get me? The operation, how I got the confession and all of that.
Yeah.
And the phone was in my hand as I'm chatting to her. But you know, like, you see that? You see, like if I walked into a room and my phone's in my hand like this.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, is it filming?
Yeah.
So I already kind of, from the Wednesday, I knew the next time I see her, when I walk up to her, my phone's going to be in my hand already.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
So the whole time as I'm chatting to her, the phone's doing this, I'm doing that, making sure I'm getting her name in it,
Yeah.
getting his full name in it. His name, I can say his name now, but the reason why the video's cropped, I didn't want the part with his name out there like that. But his name's Denzel. You get it? So
All right, let's go back and try to get a bit chronological order. Like, so how did you know where to find her?
she's Enfield, she's bait. She's
Right.
bait. If you're from North London, she's bait.
Yeah.
And where was he? The gym?
David Lloyd's, well, it's like I'm promoting them, but
Yeah,
yeah.
all right. All right, so
They better run me some stuff.
Yeah.
So she was in the gym.
Yeah.
So when you recorded, how many times did you spoken to her before the recording?
2 times.
Okay.
So when I say I had to work charm, I had to work charm.
Yeah. So she got that comfortable after 2 conversations.
I had to put in work.
Yeah.
But really and truly, I keep saying, really, the way the mission was successful, she said it herself. She barely knew me.
Yeah.
She said it herself, so it's not like I'm saying something she hasn't said.
Yeah.
And the way the mission worked successfully, it's like the universe said, you know what?
This guy must have been spitting some major game. How'd he get a girl after like a few days to tell you all this stuff? That's wild. I want to know what he said to her to get this out of her. That's wild.
This woman has to be stopped.
Yeah,
Because a man would have been all now sitting in jail. 2 counts of is minimum 12.
So
But how long ago did you film this video? Because she said it's 8 to 10 years old. How long ago did you film the video?
I was gonna try an exclusive this one for someone, man, but
We haven't got time. This is the spot.
this
Let's
is
go.
the
I
spot.
should
bro.
exclusive this question for someone, but it's all right. So, in the video, she's 31, just about to turn 32.
Yeah.
And I say to her, I say, Victoria, don't go past age 31 doing this stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Right now, I think she's 36, 37.
Right. So it's
Basic maths, primary school maths tells all of us it's maximum 5, 6 years old. Maximum. She's pushing some 10-year agenda.
Yeah.
Why is it only coming out now though? After 5 to 6 years.
Exclusives, you're killing it, man.
Let's get to
know
it. You're here, bro. Why is it 5 to 6 years?
What? Why is it only coming up
Yeah.
now? All right. So again, Denzel, the guy I done the video for,
Yeah.
I didn't get it at the time, but he said, "Do not put," because I was like, "Bro, this has to go out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them times she still had numbers. I
Yeah.
think like 100K or something. Like
Yeah.
she's always kind of been bait anyway.
Yeah.
He said, "No, don't put the video out." And I first I'm thinking, do you still want to hit it or something? Like,
Yeah.
bro,
What's
you're
going
right.
on? Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on?
Like he's protecting her kind
I
of thing.
didn't get it, but now I get it. Innocent or not, he just didn't want his name and that type of allegation being news out there.
I get that.
Because it starts with, hey, you know, like Denzel had a fake charge on him. Then by the third person is like, yo, I'm hearing Denzel done a. By the next it's just that allegation. Sir, he didn't want his name and that allegation in conversation.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And also, he's a football coach, works with children.
Yeah.
Innocent or not, that kind of talk
mad.
there.
It's mad.
My parents might say now, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't get it at the time.
Yeah.
When he said, don't release the video, cool. I got it later on. And then I think it was about 2 weeks ago.
See, what I'm wondering now, because you heard her side of the story with how he was a violent guy, he was a liar, a manipulator. His buddy now saying, oh, he's a football coach and blah, 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 blah. Either way, because I know she's a liar. It's hard to, I can't really tell where she's telling the truth or she's lying, because she's already told a few lies in her interview. But either way, let's just pretend like what she's saying is true. Could be true, I don't know. It still doesn't justify her doing the false grape allegations. And I'm not justifying this guy's whatever he did at all. It's just she's not a trustworthy person, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
I said, no, let me crop out, because too much has been happening. Too much has been going on. And
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
managers being sent down for things they ain't done. And
Yeah.
so 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm going to put out the video, but I'm going to cut it so that the bit where his name is in it is not in the video.
Yeah.
And that's where she's running with the things heavily edited. No, it's cropped. If anything, I've saved her, because some of the parts that the internet didn't hear is mad.
Are you gonna release the other parts?
Oh, that's mad. There's names, there's people. It's
So
just,
no.
So when you say that, when you say there's names, so there's more than one guy. Like
yeah,
there's-
she's
there's-
talking certain things and this and that with man.
So there's, like I said, now that you're going to see it, there's multiple guys who she has tried to get locked up or has got locked up. Yeah.
North as well that I respect, man. I don't want to bring man's this. Yeah. So
No,
I'm only, all I did
you
was
don't
crop
have to.
it.
You don't have to put out everything. Who's Jason?
Let me ask you that.
I don't know. I didn't.
Does
film,
anyone
I
in this
ain't
room know who
supposed to.
Jason is? That you see, let me tell you, which camera is looking at me, whichever camera. You see that, Victoria? Make sure you stop this coconut selling thing and go into script writing, because she's cold with the script writing and how quickly she came up with that storyline of Jason. Tried to, because I watched it and there was no, and I thought to myself, why did she even make up a new character called Jason? I didn't understand that part. That's later on. She's connected the dots.
Yeah.
She couldn't lie and say that I tried to blackmail her with it.
Yeah.
'Cause I already gave the video to feds
Yeah.
5 years ago to get a man off the case.
Yeah.
I can't now come and blackmail you with it. So she thought, I can't lie that way. She said someone called Jason, another partner, who was also abusive, who she actually did send to jail. So I think what she's trying to do is she has sent a man to jail and she's thinking he also might come out and talk things.
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
collaborate everything in one.
Great work on getting the tape though. Great work.
Yeah,
Great
bro.
work. You saved a man's life there. You saved a man's life.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you as well, because like Alright, so just so there's clarity, so he was banged up like he was on remand or something for this.
He wasn't on remand. He got nicked in the yard.
Yeah, he got nicked in the yard, but he got bail, let's say, yeah.
Yeah, he got
but
bail.
he was going to trial with it.
He wasn't gonna bust it.
He was not, yeah. So this, basically, you giving them the tape, bust the case for him.
You made sure the case. There's nothing more to go on after that.
I wanted to clarify as well is that she said, I think I see a clip, because I ain't watched the thing, but she said I see a clip where she was saying that she got arrested. She got arrested and charged and she got probation. Was that for the false allegation?
Yeah, but I think that's cap, because in the video, when she's talking to me one-on-one, she said, I lined it up perfectly. I got him arrested in my house.
Yeah.
The way I played it, I played my chess move, all of that. Later on in the video she's done recently, she's saying my man never got nicked at all.
Yeah.
You can't. She even said 19 times she called the police about the same guy and they never helped. You're not calling the police 19 times about being in a relationship where you're being domestically abused, sexually abused, and they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's her stories that are just not really.
Yeah. What do you know of her relationship with your brethren, Denzel?
He's my cousin's brethren.
Your cousin's brethren.
Yeah.
Why do you think she went at him like this?
She broke it down. We've all seen the video. She broke it down. You ain't seen part 2 of the video. I think that's what it is.
Oh, part 2's out?
Yeah. So part 2, she goes into detail when she's talking to me in the gym. She goes into detail and she basically just said, look, I ruined men's lives. I couldn't ruin his. Yeah, she basically put it down.
For what?
It's like a sick game.
For fun, for games?
It's like a sick game. It's like a sick game, really. She.
What made her decide to confess all this to you, though? What? Just.
Was she bragging?
Man being that.
Was it a bragging thing or was it a thing like she saw you like?
It's half and half, innit?
Yeah.
How did you have to?
I was honest in my caption. I said, yo, I had to work some charm.
Yeah.
And then she was also trying to run a brag and I can do this and that. And it's all right, cool, innit? But I still break it down to that. It's the grace of God. Car. All now, it's like she didn't have to confess to that level.
Yeah, because she fully confessed.
She was going in still.
Yeah.
And that's.
All right, I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna put both parts 1 and 2 of Victoria Everest's interviews in the box, and I'm also gonna put this one in the box too, so you guys could go watch the full thing. I don't want this video to overrun too far, so that's what I'm gonna do. So in the comments, guys, let me know what you guys think. This is very interesting. It's hard to tell what's true and what's not because she is clearly a liar. What she's doing is horrible. I didn't hear any apologies, but like I said, if I'm mistaken, I'll add it in later and, say that she did apologize to her victim. She seemed like she's a victim too. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? What do you guys think after seeing all this? But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the box. This is a wild one, man. Do you believe that women or men who do false grape allegations should get at least some time? Or do you think they should just be able to get away with it like how she got away with it? You guys already know what I think, but let me know what you guys think. Anyways, guys, I'm going to start doing a lot more reaction videos. Check out my other videos. I'm up and coming. Support your boy. Support your boy. And once again, my name is Rohan the Don, and I'm out.